I've been running for a little over 10 years now, a lot more consistently over the last 3.5 years. And if I was able to go back in time and tell younger Reese something he should have done differently or at least started sooner, that would be stretching right after my run. And there's a couple reasons why I think this is very helpful. Because we hear everyone in the running world, or a lot of people say, you need to stretch, you do more stretching, and there's sometimes not a whole lot of follow-up on what to do or what that looks like. And I have something that I think is really going to help runners who are like, yeah, I know I need to stretch, but I'm not sure how or when or really what to do, right? And this is something I really started to focus on during a couple challenges I was, approaching as a runner, but also more specifically after I got runner's knee. After I had won a 50 miler, I was getting ready for a 100-mile race, and I was wanting to train. And after I recovered from that 50 miler, I set the course record and made sure I was good. I got this runner's knee, and I had never really experienced that. And for people who don't know what that is, it's kind of like a pain in your knee. I mean, it's called runner's knee, and supposedly you get it from running. And I felt it like under my kneecap. It can be different for a lot of different people, but what happened was I was dealing with this, and I bought a brace because that's what I heard you're supposed to do with this. And I was on a trail run, and one day, and I ran into my running coach, and I started walking with him. He just happened to be there, and I was talking about the runner's knee and how I just ordered a brace, and he was like, honestly, that's kind of a mistake. And I was like, why? And he's like, the problem with runners is they get injuries and then they either rest, like take time off to heal from it, or they get braces. And what happens is they might feel better for a little bit, whether it's with a brace or after taking some time off. But what he was saying was they never fix the root cause of that problem. Is it your form? Is it bad shoes? Is it you don't have strong enough muscles? Is it you're not flexible enough? I was like, damn, that's actually a really good point. What's the root cause of this runner's knee? Is it overtraining? Is it form? What is it? And so I did a couple things. I did a lot of strength training to overcome this. I didn't use the brace. But the thing that really helped me was stretching out my quads, because I realized my IT band was super tight, my quads were super tight, and it makes sense that my knee hurt, because that stuff that was way too tight was pulling my knee or making me more cramped up than I was used to, because I had been enduring a lot of racing and training, right? So here's what I would do if I could go back in time and get ahead of some of the issues I've dealt with. And that's stretching for 5 to 10 minutes after every single run. And I'm serious, 5 minutes is plenty. Because here's the reason why. If you wait till the evening or the next day, it's not that you're not going to get some benefit, but I think you can get ahead of it, and your stretching could be a lot more effective if you do this right after your run. And it's because your muscles are still warm. You don't have to warm up too much. Your muscles are going to be more pliable and hold the stretches. And what this does, and why this is so important to do after your run, is because if you're running and you're pounding the pavement or on the trails, your muscles are contracting, they're squeezing, and they're getting tighter because they're working, right? It makes sense. And so your calves are shortening and they're contracting. And then if you don't stretch after that, as your body cools down throughout the day, it's going to hold that constricted movement, right? It's going to be holding that pull. And so if you wait until the afternoon or evening or the next day, I believe it takes more time to get your muscles back to where they were, or your tendons or whatever. Versus if you stretch right after your run when you're warm, and it's easier and I think more effective, then you're going to be less stiff throughout the day. You're less likely to stiffen up a ton. I mean, if you run 20 miles, you're still going to be a little stiff and sore, but you're going to be less stiff and sore than if you wait a couple hours or the next day to stretch. So for me, I don't think you even need to do stretching sessions multiple times a week. You can. I do yoga because I think it's great and worth it. But if you just spent 5 minutes after every single run, you ran for half a mile less, but added some stretching, you're going to prevent a lot of injuries, and you're going to stay healthier, and you're going to increase your recovery time, or decrease the recovery time in order to get back to the same point and being able to train just as hard. So from now on, I just stretch for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much time I have, right after my run. And I believe this is worth it. Just think about the major running muscles that you use that need to be stretched. So we got quads, hamstrings, calves, and your ankles. I mean, like, you could pick 4 exercises, one for each of those. I do quite a few more, but I think that's way easy to manage, and it's going to be worth it overall. So hopefully this helps you. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the trails sometime soon.